Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the next sort of sub-part to our V Let's Play Path of Exile. Now, we did mention in the last part that we would be talking about the gems, or not the gems, the orbs, which is exactly what we'll do. Just a quick video to explain what they do and their importance. So if I go ahead and open my stash, as you can see here, we have quite a few already. I actually will use some of them to show you what they actually do. I'll just organize them real quick. And oh, I actually don't have one of those. So, one thing that people need to know is that there are some orbs that are of a higher value than others. As you can see here, the likes of the orbs of transmutation, orbs of alteration, these guys, they're a little bit more commonly found, augmentation as well. And they, their value isn't as significant as others. Now, with the likes of, with the likes of Chaos Orb and Regal Orbs, which I don't think I have any of. No, we don't have any of those, unfortunately. They are a little bit more uncommon, and of course their value is a lot higher. Those are the sort of orbs that will be used for trading for items and other orbs and such. But we'll basically just give a quick run through of what at least all the ones that I have here do. Since I'm early in the game, I don't actually mind using a lot of these, so just to show you guys what effect they actually have. So we'll start off with the three more common ones. The first one is the Orb of Augmentation. As you can see here, it enchants a magic item with a new random property. So if we just get a magic item, let's just use our quiver, for example. So what it essentially does is magic items are blue items. Grey is a normal item, so you actually need to have a blue item for this to work. What you basically do is when you right click and left on it, as you can see, we have adds 1 to 4 physical damage and then adds an additional 1 to 2 cold damage. However, if I use the Orb of Augmentation, it adds a new one, which is 11% increased global critical strike chance. Now you can see here, if I use it again, nothing happens. The reason for this is that, as you could read in the description, magic items can only have up to 2 random properties. Now you have the standard property, which is the adds 1 to 4 physical damage, but after that it has the 2 additional ones, which is adds 1 to 2 cold damage and the 11% increase. So basically you can't, no matter how many times you try, it's not going to make a difference. Items like the boots, of course, if we go ahead and click that, as you can see, it adds on a cold resistance. And what else? So we have plus 11 strength in this one. If we use that, we get, ooh, that was actually quite nice. But we can't get any more than that. So that's essentially what the Orb of Augmentation does. It just adds a random new property, as long as there isn't already 2 random properties on the item itself. The Orb of Transmutation upgrades, as it says there, a normal item to a magic item. Now, a normal item, as we said, is a... Make sure I had to have any more. No, just the one. Damn. It upgrades a normal item, which is a white item, to a magic item like this. And oh wow, that was actually kind of nice. As you can see, you can't use augmentation, as we got a really nice item there, but that is essentially what it does. It changes a white item into a blue item. Now some people, like I said earlier, I don't pick up white items, as I only pick up the blue for stashing or for selling for orbs and scrolls. But some people will pick up a lot of white items. Since the transmutations are relatively common, you can pick those up and then just transmute a lot of whites and see what you kind of can get out of that. So let's see, which is our worst. I guess we'll just use that. So Orb of Alteration. Orb of Alteration reforges a magic item with new random properties. So if you already have, actually let's do roots. If you have an item that already has 2 random properties, as for example here, the +4 to armor, plus 9% to cold resistance, and there's something that you don't particularly need, I mean the statistics aren't ones that suit your class, you can just use an Orb of Alteration and it randomly changes the properties. Now as you see here, we got +7 to lightning resistance, +8 to dexterity. Now of course, since we only got 1 out of that, you can use the Orb of Augmentation and add on and hopefully get something nice like that. So with a combination of these 3, you can turn whites into relatively decent magic items at lower levels. Orb of Scouring. I wonder if I have... okay, so I'm actually going to use that just because I can. Orb of Scouring does exactly what it says. Removes all properties from... let's just take a gem out. Removes all properties from that, so it essentially turns it back into a white item. So and then what you can do is of course then you can just reapply different items with different statistics, so that's kind of a useful item. Orb of Alchemy does exactly what Alteration does, or not Alteration, Transmutation, but it does it into a rare item, as does Orb of Chance. Orb of Chance essentially turns it into a random rarity. Now that can be blue, yellow, just completely random, and that is basically what that does. Armor Scrap, essentially, that just increases the quality of an item. It doesn't do anything more than that. I think you can go up to I'm not sure how high the percentage goes, but we'll find that out in a later time. Glass Blower's Bauble does exactly the same, improves the quality of a flask. Let's just use it in that one. So you can see there it increases the mana gained. Orb of Regret is something we've never seen before. We'll actually have to look into that and talk about that in a later video. Chaos Orb does exactly the same as Alteration, but reforges a rare item with new random properties. So if you're using it on, for example, a yellow item, or I believe an orange, it'll work on as well. This is the one you want to use. Alteration won't actually work. Orb of Fusing basically reforges the links between sockets on an item. So if you have an item, for example, that isn't connecting anyway, you can reforge the link. This is for support gems and stuff, which we're actually going to talk about later in the series. So we'll come back to that. Jeweler's Orb reforges the number of sockets. So since we have 2 here, if we click on this, it reforges down to 1. Now you can have up to 6 items, or 6 sockets on an item. So if you have a really good item, you may want to use these to try and get as many as you can. Most people usually aim for the 5 or 6, but those are a little bit more uncommon, so you have to use them on the correct items. Chromatic Orb, the last one here. Oh well, actually the second last one. Orb of Alchemy turns a normal item into a rare item. So if we have a blue, well no, sorry, yes, we did change that one. It's basically the same as Alteration, but rather than into a magic item, into a rare item. Chromatic Orb reforges the color. Actually, we don't want to reforge the color of that. We will do it in this. If you have a socket that's not the right color that you want, you can always just use the chromatic and change it into. Now that will apply to all sockets on the item that you actually have. So if you may need to use quite a few to get the right colored sockets that you want. But essentially that is most of the orbs. As I said, we will come back to the likes of Orb of Regret and the other ones that the links when we start using support gems. And of course, hopefully that will help you with everything you need to know about Orbs. Once again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like our Facebook page for competitions, and we'll see you in the next part of the Let's Play Path of Exile.